Elsewhere this week, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland are all playing the first leg of their Euro 2025 playoffs on Friday. Wales go to Slovakia in their bid to reach a major tournament for the first time. Angharad James was recently appointed as Wales' new captain. She captained them 3 times before. And Wales' record goal scorer, Jess Fishlock, says her international future does not depend on whether they qualify for Euro 2025 or not. Should Wales beat Slovakia, they will face either Georgia or the Republic of Ireland. I am so glad that Finn spelt this one out, because we were getting so stuck before about like what the qualification process would mean and who was going to win this and how many points we needed to get hit. I think did we get Sophie in for that, or was that?
We did. It's a bit easier this way around now,
Yeah.
but there was a time where it was fierce confusing.
Yes, very confusing. But I mean, how excited are we for these games? I mean, it could be the first time ever that Wales qualify for the Euros. I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful thing that would be. And like, the squad is there. They have a good squad. When you kind of look at the talent, the players they've got, you're thinking, well, yeah, guys, there's going to be worse teams in the Euros than Wales. Like, you guys have got this all day. Let's go.
That's a real... There's going to be worse teams than you at the Euros. I think for Wales, it's always been a matter of when, not if. Like, it's going to happen. And I think it's frustrating because there have been times where you think this is the moment. They've got the squad. They've got, like, they're going to do it. Like, here we are. This is the generation. And sometimes it just feels like they've just let it slip through their fingers a little bit, which has been really frustrating. There is such an evident desire from this team to qualify for a major tournament. And when they do, like, I think it's just going to be unreal. I feel like we're all going to feel like we're Welsh when Wales finally qualify for a major tournament, because they've got such a... And I think this is something that can be said for maybe Scotland, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. That small nation mentality, that pride of getting yourself onto a world stage in any event, in any sport. And it is going to be amazing when that happens, and I hope now is the time, because I think a player like a Jess Fishlock deserves to experience the world stage. They all do, but a player like her just... And the world stage deserves... The European stage deserves to have Jess Fishlock.
Give Jess Fishlock her flowers. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's about time, guys. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it over the line. Let's see Wales in Euro 2025. I mean, when you look at... I know they've done quite a lot of work recently, FA Wales, and kind of increasing, like, the talent coming through their pathways and kind of, like, I think making it more of a deal, I suppose, about, like, the talent coming through and also going off to the NWSL, to the WSL. You've got, like, Josie Green at Palace. You've got Elise Hughes at Palace. Yeah, you've got Angharad James. You've got Jess Fishlock. But the squad is there. Like, there's a really good squad, like, well-known names.
My only slight issue, and I really, really apologise, Wales, for this, but in order for Wales to qualify, there is a potential for them having to play and beat the Republic of Ireland, and I just don't want that to happen. So yeah, like, love you guys, like, love the team, really want you in a major tournament, but if it's at the expense of my Republic of Ireland, I'm afraid I know where my heart lies.
Savage from you. Absolutely savage. I thought we were supposed to be an unbiased pod, but here you are.
If it was Wales versus England,
then I would be absolutely 100% on the fence.
Splinters all round.
Speaking of your beloved Ireland, Courtney Brosnan will be unavailable for their game against Georgia due to suspension. Uncapped Katie Keane has earned a call-up. Lucy Quinn has been left out of the squad for the first round. Why? I don't get this. I honestly don't get this.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, I guess. I think because, you know, she's been banging in the goals for Birmingham. She got Player of the Month as well. So I think that is a bit of a surprise. I think...
Also, she's a great personality hire. Like, she's just going to bring the vibes to the entire squad. Like, this is nothing. Like, Lucy Quinn, in her own right, is a very talented player, and I love her to pieces. But, like, she's also, like, one of the funniest people that I know, and sometimes you just need someone like that to calm the camp down. Sure.
But I think that kind of player omission was slightly overshadowed by, you know, some comments made by a manager in League of Ireland about Eileen Gleeson and the FAI not giving enough exposure and opportunities to players in the Irish League. And I think actually her omission was slightly overshadowed by that, like, minor controversy. But it is, you know, big game for Ireland. They play away to Georgia first this week, and then they come back and face Georgia at home. I'll be there for that one. And yeah, should they win those games and should Wales win those games, they will face each other. Which, why does this happen? Like, why can't they all just have a route in separately, and then Ireland can just be left alone to go and qualify themselves, and then we can have the home nations qualifying separately as well? That'd just be great. But no, there is a potential for the two of them coming together, but they have to get past Georgia first.
Football is not a perfect world, Rach. We can't dictate these things. I'm sorry.
Ridiculous.
It is what it is.
Ridiculous.
But I am very, very excited that we do have this kind of I don't know, we get back to like big summer football again. I do feel like I've really missed it. Like, I know we had like the Olympics, like obviously Team GB weren't in it, and like there was some other incredible football going on, but it kind of feels like it's really nice to like have something to like work towards from a very personal and very selfish perspective.
Do you remember June, July period, and we were like, international football, we were like, enough! That's enough!
Vaguely.
Stop it! And now we're like, God, it's been ages. I really miss it.
I remember that life. Northern Ireland are looking to qualify for back-to-back European Championships. They play Croatia. They gave Portugal a good game back in June in a 2-1 defeat, but they drew 0-0 with Malta earlier in the year and kicked off their Nations League campaign last December with that 6-1 defeat against Ireland. Race, do you think we've seen a drop-off in their performances since Euro 2022, would you say?
Well, firstly, I think Croatia's going to be a tough fixture for them. I feel like it's less about a drop off in performance. I think my worry a little bit was around like that commitment and that capitalizing on qualifying for the first time at the Euros. And they had good performances. They had a great crowd out supporting them. Such an exciting time for them to qualify, and it just felt a little bit afterwards that maybe they were happy to kind of tread water a little bit. Maybe, rather than capitalizing and trying to progress a little bit. I do think Tanya Oxtoby was a good signing, and I think it shows some ambition. I know she's really ambitious, but I think it will take a little bit of time. I think international football is a big ship it's slow to turn, and it's slow to kind of see when those decisions kind of impact teams. They don't get a huge amount of time with their players and their squads and stuff. So yeah, I think maybe getting into that rhythm of qualifying again, it might not be this tournament, but hopefully we will see them in a major tournament soon. And I think Tanya Oxtoby has got a real desire to do that.
Definitely. Well, if they win, they'll play Albania or Norway. And finally, Scotland take on Hungary. Since the 6-0 defeat to England in the Nations League last year, they've beaten Philippines, drawn with Finland and Serbia, beaten Slovakia and Israel twice, and beat Serbia 1-0. Pedro Martinez Losa, former Arsenal manager, has been with Scotland for 3 years now and putting in an absolute shift in terms of turning around Scottish women's national football. Actually, it was on a panel with Pedro in Seville for the World Football Summit, and he was talking to me really passionately about sort of like where they're trying to take things and like the difficulties and challenges, and like he honestly, that was one of the most interesting conversations that I've ever had. I don't know how far I can actually go into what was discussed, but he is passionate and cares very much about the game.
I'm sure. I think for me personally, I think he struggled a little bit to get the best out of the squad. I touch on Northern Ireland kind of maybe easing their foot off the gas a little bit. I thought with Scotland when we saw them at a Euros and a World Cup that this was the momentum, that this was going to be their new norm, and I do feel like they've gone backwards a little bit, which is a real shame because they've got such talented players in their squad. We've seen some step away from the national team now, no longer playing international football, and part of me felt like, was it the federation? Is it the manager not getting the best out of the squad? Because, they're good enough to be at major tournaments. So I really hope that we'll see them there again because they absolutely deserve to be. And I think Scottish football is growing, and, there's more investment being put into the league, and you want to see that across the national team as well, that kind of investment. Because remember, we've had these conversations and players speaking out and, there being a bit of a lower ambition when it comes to kind of stadiums and stuff like that. So they deserve all that they can get, because they've such a great squad, such great players on the world stage at the moment, and you want to see them in a major tournament for definite.
Well, talking of great players, Emma Watson and Caroline Weir returning to the squad, but he will be without Rachel Kelsey. If they win, they'll play Montenegro or Finland. Some very spicy fixtures to catch up on the international stage coming up. And I'm excited to get back to international football. Dare I say it?